YouTube, what is good, bruv gang? What's good? We are back with another video. The genre of JRPGs is known for having a vast and deep library full of incredible titles, which at times can see some games fall by the wayside and slip under the radar. So in this video, I wanted to share with you guys 5 of the best modern JRPG hidden gems I feel you need to play. Star Ocean: The Divine Force. So whenever I think about modern hidden gem JRPGs, the first game that always comes to mind is Star Ocean: The Divine Force. Star Ocean: The Divine Force is an action RPG where the story follows dual protagonists Raymond Lawrence and Leticia Oserius in their adventure to save the cosmos. So Star Ocean: The Divine Force was a major return to form in my eyes for developers Tri-Ace, who had disappointed a section of the fan base with the previous entry in Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness. Now, where Star Ocean: The Divine Force may have received mixed reviews online, I honestly believe this was a game that really went under the radar and turned out to be one of my personal favourite JRPGs from 2022. So the gameplay within this game was so well done and felt incredibly fluid. This essentially was Tri-Ace's first Star Ocean outing on the next gen consoles, and I really felt they'd done an incredible job and can only make steady improvements from here on out. Now, as mentioned, the combat in Star Ocean: The Divine Force just felt so much more fluid and so much more refined as opposed to previous Star Ocean entries. This adjustment to combat just made the game feel so much more modern and accessible for newcomers to the series to pick up and play. Just being able to chain together combos and fly around the combat area with the use of Duma, hitting blindside attacks at high speed and managing AP just made the combat feel so much more in depth to the point where it wasn't a mindless hack and slash. And as mentioned, managing your AP to pull off big attacks and keep combo strings going was a big factor in getting the most out of this game's combat. Now, where the story was decent and pretty much your standard Star Ocean affair, the characters throughout your journey really kept the game feeling fresh. I personally started my first playthrough with Raymond, and he honestly was one of my favourite characters throughout my time on the game. His charisma, coolness, silly jokes, and of course the crazy blonde hair. Raymond was definitely a great protagonist throughout the Divine Force. So as mentioned, while Star Ocean: The Divine Force may have been met with mixed receptions online, I honestly feel this is a criminally underrated Star Ocean entry. It's modern, fun, and has a great combat system, and I honestly believe there is so much fun to be had on this game, and if this is your first Star Ocean game, it's 100% a game I cannot recommend enough. For me personally, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Star Ocean: The Divine Force, a super underrated title and an amazing modern JRPG hidden gem I feel everyone needs to play. Chained Echoes. Now, while most people online sing praises of Sea of Stars, which is a great game in its own right and has those same 16-bit era inspired visuals, I really feel Chained Echoes is a game that is criminally underrated and deserving of more, if not the same plaudits that Sea of Stars has received. So Chained Echoes is a turn-based RPG developed by one man, the great Matthias Linder. The game is set on the continent of Valandis during the time of a multi-generational war between 3 kingdoms. Now, with so many 16-bit era Chrono Trigger inspired JRPGs that have been released over the years, Chained Echoes for me was a game that really set itself apart from the rest of the crowd. Now, of course, being developed by one man alone was enough to pique the interest of many, but that aside, the game's amazing storytelling and beautiful world building through the game's 16-bit era inspired visuals and mature story just made Chained Echoes feel so much more unique. For me personally, Chained Echoes' story really gave me Suikoden vibes with how mature its war-driven narrative was, and the twists and turns along the way just made the story feel so much more rewarding. One thing I really praised highly was the writing, which as mentioned added so much more depth to the story. The characters actually felt like real people and all had motives and personalities throughout the game. Something I feel that made Chained Echoes so unique to other 16-bit era inspired JRPGs was how unique the turn-based combat system was, which was honestly a one-of-one system that I'd never seen done before in any other turn-based JRPG that I'd personally have played. So the combat system features an overdrive system, where there is a meter at the top left of the screen where you will need to stay within the green zone of the meter to do the most effective damage possible or to reduce incoming damage. Different element based symbols pop up in a small box next to the overdrive meter as an indication as to what moves will keep you within the green zone of the meter. The overdrive system was honestly such a fresh take on turn based combat and honestly just made battles feel that much more fun to play. Chained Echoes had some incredible visuals throughout, and if you are a fan of 16-bit era inspired visuals, this game kicks it up a notch with beautiful sprite designs done for each character and each locale within the game feeling alive with colour and beautiful architectural placement. So Chained Echoes for me is a game that I always sing its praises about, and as much as I love Sea of Stars, which is a game it frequently gets compared to, but in my opinion doesn't get the same love, is honestly a game I feel is personally the better out of the two and an underrated game overall. For me personally, I feel those who are fans of JRPGs know of Chained Echoes, but casual fans know more of Sea of Stars just because of how well received and marketed it was. Chained Echoes is a game worth checking out and is 100% one of the best modern JRPG hidden gems I feel everyone needs to play. Baten Kaitos. Now Baten Kaitos may have been released way back in 2005 over here in the PAL region, and as recently as 2023 got a HD remaster for both the first and second game, but honestly, to me, it still remains a game I feel is a hidden gem. So Baten Kaitos is a card-based, turn-based RPG from legendary developers Monolith Soft. You, the player, will assume the role of a guardian spirit, an unseen player avatar who guides protagonist Callus and his party of companions in an adventure across an aerial floating island-based kingdom in the clouds. So Baten Kaitos for me still remains one of those games that after going back and playing the recent remaster, honestly just made me have a deeper appreciation for how beautiful and well done this game's story, characters, world and combat were executed. I think the one thing that I absolutely loved within Baten Kaitos was the story. The story is so brilliantly told, and where I won't spoil the story as this is a story I feel was 100% worth experiencing for yourself, it takes so many twists and turns that will honestly leave you as the player in genuine shock. The world throughout this game was masterfully done. With the use of pre-rendered backgrounds, each locale honestly feels so unique and you really feel like you're in another world. The colours and art direction throughout Baten Kaitos is something that was executed to perfection and honestly makes this game's art direction so unique. The game's beautiful watercolour type aesthetic just adds to how beautiful and how impressive it was for the time on the GameCube, and with the now upscaled graphics on the Switch just shows off how much more impressive the art style was in the game. Now Baten Kaitos for me easily has one of the most fun and rewarding combat systems ever with the use of its card-based battle system. Where card-based combat systems may not appeal to everyone and can put some people off of Baten Kaitos, I think the way it's executed within this game just works for anyone to get into it. So the magical cards, or as they are known in game as Magnus, are essentially separated into attack, defense and item cards, which all have spirit numbers ranging from 1 to 9. Playing the same number in gradual succession will result in increased damage, and cards can also be combined to pull off special combos. With over 1000 Magnus that are available in the game, deck building can feel super unique and rewarding the further you get into the game, and makes it even more fun when you defeat a boss, for instance, with the deck you have crafted together. As mentioned, although Baten Kaitos got a HD remaster in 2023, I still feel it's a game that is extremely slept on, and is 100% an incredible JRPG hidden gem that is worth experiencing. Piece Odyssey. Now we are only a year removed from Piece Odyssey, but as mentioned in my top 5 JRPGs list of 2023, I said this was a game that whenever I was personally recommending new games to play or just discussing modern hidden gem JRPGs would always be a game that I shed some light on and show some love to. So Piece Odyssey is a turn-based JRPG in which players control Monkey D. Luffy and the Straw Hat Pirates. Now we all know for the most part anime games can be super hit or miss, with the vast majority being cash grabs. But the fact that Bandai Namco had stated they had spent years working on this title to make it the best it could be honestly just made me feel so much more different about Piece Odyssey. Now I'm personally a big fan of One Piece, and from an outsider's perspective I can understand why an anime game with so many episodes as One Piece could potentially put people off the game who have never seen an episode of the series before. I feel Piece Odyssey does an incredible job of being a newcomer friendly title where the crew features all members up to date with the anime. The game works as its own standalone story that can be enjoyed by anyone. Honestly, even if you don't feel like watching the anime, the game does a fantastic job of the characters all having that One Piece charm and their own unique personalities that really rubs off on the player, which in turn could make anyone a fan. For me personally, the fact that Piece Odyssey was a turn-based JRPG was a big reason why I absolutely love this game. The combat system is really fun and very intuitive, where battles are divided into several areas, where you the player can construct your party in a way that counters different areas on the combat field to get the jump on enemies or to stop other party members from getting attacked. The dungeons, mini puzzles and overall exploration of the game were executed superbly throughout this game. I love the fact that you could switch between party members in dungeons to use their unique abilities to traverse around the dungeon, like using Luffy's long arms to reach high up places to get treasure or to advance through the dungeon. The graphics and animations within Piece Odyssey were executed superbly and was something I praise highly, especially in combat when executing special moves like Zoro's free sword style or an onigiri for example was a beautiful sight. Piece Odyssey is honestly a game I cannot recommend enough. Its fun, visually appealing and extremely well done combat system with that one piece charm and the incredible cast of characters to boot just makes it a JRPG experience worth having, and is a big reason why I feel it's one of the best hidden gem JRPGs I feel everyone needs to play. Tokyo Xanadu. Now, with the recent announcement of the Nintendo Switch port that is set to come to the West in the summer of 2024, and regardless of that, Tokyo Xanadu is easily one of the most slept on and the best hidden gem JRPGs you need to play. Tokyo Xanadu is an action RPG developed by Neon Falcom. The story revolves around Ko Tokisaka, a high school student living in Morimaya in 2015. One night, while returning from work, Ko notices his classmate Asuka Hiragi involved with some dangerous individuals. Concerned for her safety, Ko follows them into a back alley only to be sucked into a vortex that transports him into a nightmarish realm known as the Eclipse. Now, Tokyo Xanadu has always been touted as the game with a Persona 5's high school setting and story, with Ys and Falcom staple action-based combat, and with good reason too. Tokyo Xanadu has such a great story and some really well written characters to boot. The story within this game was something I loved and always kept me on edge throughout, leaving me wanting to know more. As mentioned, I felt the characters were so well written and really gave me that Persona-esque vibe with how attached I felt to the characters throughout this game. So the combat within Tokyo Xanadu was something that I absolutely loved, and having that Ys comparison, and it's honestly a fair comparison in my eyes, as the combat feels super fast and fluid, and being able to change to different party members so seamlessly to exploit enemy weaknesses always felt so fun to play with. Just like the Ys games, bosses throughout the game always felt like a decent challenge, and all felt unique in terms of the gimmicks they offered, so mindlessly hacking away didn't always do the trick. The game would have you read the boss's attack patterns and then have you do damage at the right time. So the one thing that I absolutely loved, and as always was killed by the stellar work of the Falcom sound team, was the soundtrack, and it's honestly something I listen to frequently, and oftentimes you'll hear it playing throughout my videos, maybe even this one. So with the recent announcement of the Switch port coming in the summer of 2024, this really ramps up the accessibility of this game, and it's definitely a game I hope more people check out. As mentioned, in my eyes, when it comes to JRPG hidden gems, no game is as underrated in my books as Tokyo Xanadu. It's an incredible title from legendary developers Neon Falcom, and it's easily the best modern JRPG hidden gem I feel everyone needs to play. So that'll do it for this video, guys. I really appreciate you guys for watching. I'd love to know what some of your favorite hidden gem JRPGs are, so please let me know down below in the comments. So please like, sub, share if you're new, hit that notification bell so you get notified for my videos first, and I hope I can be you guys' #1 source for all JRPG news. So from me too, this has been your bruv, the big bruv, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video. I'm out. Peace.